Okay, so lesson 16, example 2. Now we're looking at multiplying terms. So example 2 says simplify each of the following. So when we look at example number 1 right here, it says 3 bracket 4x. When there is a number outside of a bracket, it is assumed that it's multiplying. So what that's actually saying is 3 times 4x. So how we write that is, first off, you're going to multiply your numbers together. So that means 3 times 4. And we know 3 times 4 is 12. So we're going to have it 12. And then what we're left with is x. There's no other x to multiply it by. So that means we just have 1x. So we leave it 1x. So 3 times 4x gives us 12x. Next, example 2. It says 2x times 7. So first thing you do is we multiply our numbers together. So we have negative 2 times a positive 7. Negative times a positive gives us a negative number. And 2 times 7 gives us 14. Now we're going to multiply our variables together. So we have an x right here, and there's no x there. So it's just 1x. So we just leave it x. So negative 2x times 7 gives us negative 14x. Example 3, we have negative 5x times 6x. So first things first, we're going to multiply our numbers together. We have negative 5 times a positive 6. Negative times a positive gives us a negative. And 5 times 6 gives us 30. Now we're going to multiply our x's together. We have an x here and an x here. So when you're multiplying variables with the same base, you add the exponents. We know it's going to be an x, but we have to add up how many we have. So we have 1 here and 1 there. So that means it's x squared. So negative 5x times 6x gives us negative 30x squared. Last example, we have x times negative 3x squared. It's crazy, but you guys can totally do this. So I'm going to have my equal sign ready. First things first is we multiply our numbers. So in front of this x, it's just assume that there's a 1. And then over here, we have negative 3. So 1 times negative 3 gives us negative 3. Now we're going to multiply our exponents. So out front here, we have an x, and in here we have an x. So it's always assumed that the exponent is a 1 above those. So x times x gives us x squared, because there's 2 x's. Last but not least is little old y over here. There's a y there, but there's no y out front here. So y times itself is just y. The end.